Okay, so today I would like to go through the chapter 6 homework with all of you. So as exam is approaching and I understand you have numerous subjects you need to attend. So therefore, I hope, okay, this videos can serve as the final revisions or maybe a recap on what you have learned in chapter 6. So first of all, we need to notice that about two things, okay? The first thing would be the chemical digestion and also the physical digestion. So chemical digestion is basically we are referring to all the digestion method, okay, or all the digestion through, okay, or it require enzymes, okay, it required enzymes, okay. That means it need enzymes for the chemical digestion. But for physical digestion, it mainly okay for all the like chewing, peristalsis, etc. These would be some digestion that physically appear and it do not involve the enzymes, okay, and it do not involve the enzymes. So now when we have a look on the first question, so it referring or it asks you about the alimentary canal that which part of the alimentary canal that's the chemical digestion of the rice begin. So rice, in fact, we notice that from chapter 5, it is full of starch. So we notice that starch can be digested by certain types of enzymes, for example, the salivary amylase. So therefore, the chemical digestion should already start in our mouth cavity because in our mouth cavity, there is some salivary glands. And the salivary glands, it will secrete the saliva. And inside the saliva, there will be some salivary amylase. And the amylase will convert starch into the maltose. So therefore, the answer for question number 1, it would be A. Next, by looking at question number 2 and 3, the pictures below, we can see that there are 3 bars, okay? And each bar, they have the same widthness, same widthness before it passed through the alimentary canal. But then, okay, over time, okay, the food substance pass through the alimentary canal. In fact, the width becomes smaller and smaller. So this means that, okay, each band, that food substance, in fact, is the amount of that types of food substance is keep decreasing. So therefore, by looking at it, okay, we will see that, okay, X, the starting point or the decrease in the width for substance X, in fact, it starts beyond or after it go through or it reach the stomach, okay? So therefore, chemical digestion occur or starts in stomach. Okay, this is food substance X, okay? Next, we can see that, okay, for substance Y, the chemical digestion will start in mouth cavity. So there is already narrowing the food substance, the amount of food substance we can see in the band Y. Next, for food substance Z, in fact, the chemical digestion starts in small intestine. Okay, so therefore we can see that, okay, definitely, okay, only the small intestine can digest food substance set. Now, for question number 2, it asks about the digestion of which food substance take place in stomach. Many of you would choose X and Y, right? Okay, but remember, if you look carefully in Y, in fact, the line in stomach and also small intestine, they are before the small intestine. In fact, they are level off. So meaning that there is no any change in amount. There is no any change in amount. If I use the red color to highlight the width of the band Y during the esophagus and also part of the esophagus and also the stomach, we can see that any change in width in stomach, so definitely it is no change. Is it okay? So as there is no any change in the amount of food substance Y, so therefore this means that there is no any digestion occur in stomach. So therefore the only answer, in fact, it would be X. That means it's also A for the final answer. Okay. Then based on the interpretation or based on the process that we have learned in the textbook, we can quickly identify that, in fact, food substance X would be protein. It would be protein. While substance Y, it would be carbohydrates. Or maybe it would be better for us to use starch, okay? Because we notice that there are different types of carbohydrates, and inside, I mean, the one that it can be being digested in our mouth cavity, it would be our starch. Next, okay, we further to have a look on set. In fact, it would be definitely, it would be our lipids, okay? So in this case, based on the interpretation or the knowledge that we have learned in the textbook, we can interpret for these three bands which food substance it is. And okay, in order to revise with you, let me quickly to go through what would be the enzymes that digest, okay, in the corresponding organ. So inside the stomach, there is a type of enzymes. It called the pepsin. And the pepsin, it will convert our protein into some peptides. Okay. Next, okay, for our food substance Y, okay, as it is starch, okay, in our mouth cavity, there would be amylase. For amylase, okay, in fact, okay, it will convert the starch into maltose. Okay. Next, for lipid, okay, it will start in small intestine. And inside it, there is lipase. So the lipase will convert the lipid into the glycerol and also the fatty acid. Is it okay? So now, based on these informations, we can conclude that the answer for question number 3, it would be B. Okay. Next, we move on to have a look on question number 4. So question number 4, it shows you the digestive system in human. And inside this picture, there are several different digestive systems. However, please be noticed that peristalsis, okay, peristalsis, a type of physical digestion, and this type of physical digestion, in fact, is controlled by the muscle contraction and also the muscle relaxation. So in this case, it will try to push the food, or what we call the bolus, from one part of the alimentary canal to another part of the alimentary canal. So by looking at it, we only need to identify the parts, like which digestive system, okay, belongs to the alimentary canal, and this alimentary canal contain muscle. So in this case, if it fulfill these two requirements, then we will say there would be peristalsis occur. So by looking at it, definitely for 3 here, this would be the our esophagus. So in order for us to push the food, okay, from our mouth cavity into the stomach, in fact, peristalsis will occur. So 3, it will contain or it will undergo the peristalsis. Next, for 1, it will be the liver. Sorry, it does not belong to the it is okay. Somehow, okay, it is although it contains muscle, but although it is also a digestive system, but then okay, it does not involve the movement of the alimentary canal. I will have to say in this way. So therefore, liver, it would be also not the organ that it will undergo peristalsis. Next, large intestine, of course, it has, okay, because large intestine, it need to move the food from one part of the alimentary canal to another part of the alimentary canal. Next, okay, 4, it would be probably it would be the spleen. Sorry, 4 is not the spleen, but it will be the stomach. Okay, stomach. So inside stomach, because there is also some muscle, and it is also one part of the alimentary canal, and the food will move from one part to the other. So therefore, in this case, okay, it would be also correct, okay, because it do contain the muscle for doing the peristalsis. Next, 5, it would be the pancreas. However, for pancreas, although it connected to the alimentary canal, but it does not involve the movement of the food from one part of the alimentary canal to the other. So therefore, it will also not undergo the peristalsis. Next, for 6, it will be small intestine. So, and we notice that for small intestine, it is also belongs to the alimentary canal, and it will move the food from one part to another. So therefore, the answer, it would be 2, 3, 4, and 6. And therefore, the answer would be D for question number 4. Next, in an experiment, 4 wells are made in a starch agar plate, and each well is filled with a different solution. As shown in the diagram below, okay, let us have a look on which type of solution that we will contain in each well. So the agar plate is then incubated in 40 degrees Celsius, and incubated and in an incubator, okay, for 120 minutes. So which well will have the largest clear zone? So what means clear zone after the flooded with iodine solution? Meaning that any positive or negative results. If for iodine solution, it would be, if it is positive, then can you tell me if it is positive, what would be the color it is? Okay, good. It would be blue, black. Okay, if it is positive, meaning that it got the starch. But then, okay, if it does not contain the starch, then it will be brown in color. Then that means this is a negative result. But now, when we look at the pictures, what happened? It requires to have the clear zone. So clear zone. Now, this means that the clear zones, it referring to there would be reduced or there is a removal of starch in the agar plate. So by looking at it, okay, we will see there are different conditions. For well one, in fact, the salivary amylase was mixed with the hydrochloric acid. And we notice that for the pH value that the salivary amylase work the best, or it can work, in fact, it would be around 7 to 8, okay? So in this case, in fact, there should be a very small clear zone for well one. Next, boiled, okay, salivary amylase. So boiled meaning that it will cause what we call a special name. We call it the denature. So denature is referring that the specific site for the enzyme to undergo the enzymatic reaction no longer exists. So in this case, the salivary amylase, it will unfunctions or it will dysfunctions. So in this case, 4, it will also have very small, okay, clear zone. Next, for the sodium hydroxide, again, the solution, in fact, is too alkaline for the salivary amylase to work. So therefore, it should be yes, okay, it should be also dysfunctions. So therefore, the answer for this question, it would be B, okay, well 2, because it should have the largest zone. Why it will have the largest zone? Because most of the first of all, the salivary amylase work the best in the distilled water because the pH of the distilled water is the best for the salivary amylase. Secondly, the salivary amylase will convert the starch into maltose. So in this case, can it remove the starch? Yes, it can remove the starch. So therefore, okay, removal of the starch, it will lead to a clear zone. And in this case, the largest clear zone. So comparing to the other well 2 has the largest clear zone comparing to the others. So therefore, the answer should be B. Okay, B. Now, when we look at this one, okay, so we need to think about, okay, which one is helps or it is important for us to do the chemical digestion first. So by looking at it, definitely the salivary amylase and also the gastric juice. Why? Because inside the gastric juice, we will notice that there is some enzymes, and that enzymes would be the pepsin. So therefore, the answer for chemical digestion, it would be A and D. While the other chewing, churning, and also peristalsis, it will be belongs to the physical digestion. So therefore, it will be B, C, and also E. Next, digestion of different types of food substance starts in different regions of human alimentary canal. So the extent to which protein, fat, starch are being digested in successive regions, okay, A to E, of the alimentary canal can be represented by the graph shown below. So in this case, we can see X, there is already a drop in the amount. So therefore, or in the percentage. So therefore, we can notice that X, it must be the starch. Next, C, in fact, it would be high chance, it would be the stomach. So in this case, we can see for curve, the dotted curve, this one, okay, this one, the dotted curve, it must be the protein, okay. And lastly, for D, it would be high chance that it would be small intestine. Then in this case, okay, this with not exactly dotted line, but a line that connect all the dots, it would be referring to the lipid. Okay, so in region A to E, that's the digestion of proteins starts. Definitely, it starts from region C. Okay, so region C would be the part that starts the digestion of protein. Okay, so what would be this region called? So it would be called as stomach. Okay, so many of you spell it wrong because I could not give you the map because the question asked you to name. Okay, so in this case, you need to spell the word correctly for those questions who require you to name it. Okay. Next, which curve X or Y represent the digestion of starch? Explain your idea or explain your answer. Definitely, it must be our curve X. Why? Because it starts digestion in where? In our A, the region A. The region A, from the questions, we notice that it is the mouth cavity. So therefore, the digestion of starch starts from mouth cavity. Of course, for many of you, some of you may write down mouth. Okay, why I cannot give you the mouth? Because mouth, it referring to the lips and also the opening of the mouth cavity. So therefore, it's slightly different from the idea of mouth cavity. In this case, you need to clearly state it is start in mouth cavity, but not in mouth. Is it okay for that? Next, now in this digestive system, the carbohydrate starch is broken down into sugar. This begins in the mouth and use enzymes amylase. The graph below shows how the rate of breakdown starch by amylase change as the pH increase. So we can see that the best pH for us to have the breakdown of starch, in fact, it would be pH 7. But maybe due to maybe some of you print out the picture, the alignment may be not that correct. So if you write down pH 7 to 7.2, I also give it you correct. However, in the exam, it must be wrong. It must be wrong. You need to use the ruler to draw a line to show or to see, okay, which pH it belongs to. Is it okay for that? So let us move on. Okay, let us have a look on the terms of the question. For question number A, okay, it requires you to describe how the rate of breakdown of starch change as the pH increase. Now, if you see there is 2 marks, meaning that you need to describe 2 trend, okay? Describe meanings that you need to talk about the trend of the rate of breakdown or the relationship between the rate of breakdown and the change in pH, okay? So now we can see that, okay, the pH is keep increase from pH 2 to pH 7. Then we can see, in fact, the rate of breakdown is increase or decrease. It will be increase, okay? Increase, okay? But then from pH 7 above, or from pH 7 to pH 12, the rate no longer keep increasing. Rather, or oppositely, it drops, okay? The rate decrease. So therefore, we can see that, okay, the two trend, one trend we were talking about when it under pH 7, what happened? And other, it would be above pH 7, what happened about the rate? Okay, so this consists of 2 marks. Next, based on the graph shown above, which pH does the amylase work the best? It must be pH 7. And one mistake, or maybe one misconception that you had in Form 2 and you show it to me now would be some of you change the orientation. You write down 7 pH. Remember, in the exam, it is not correct for 7 pH. It must be pH 7 rather than 7 pH, okay? So you must write me pH 7. pH must be in front of the number, okay? Please be remember that. Next, food pass from the mouth to the stomach and then into the small intestine. But we will notice that, in fact, the amylase, it required to make in our mouth, but at the same time, it also need to make in our small intestine or in the pancreas and release from the pancreas to the small intestine. Now, you may ask a question, why our body need to make 2 times? This is because in our stomach, what happened? In our stomach, it would be a very acidic environment. And this acidic environment will denature or cause the enzyme not functioning. Then, in this case, okay, what happened? Can we do the digestion? Still have the chemical digestion? Do we still have the chemical digestion? Then it definitely no starch further digest. Then how can we do? So we will have the more amylase. Need to be made in order for the digestion of starch in small intestine. Okay? So this would be the debriefing for chapter 6 homework. So if you have further questions, you can ask me in the Google Classroom. So I hope, okay, this videos can serve as a revision for you related to chapter 6. So, and good luck to your exam tomorrow. Okay.